Okay, so let's get started. Um, let's just put on some stuff here. So we've got our reference images, we've got our battleship, which we're going to review today. Now I'm just going to make some amendments to it. Just to give some feedback to its creator, and then what we're going to do is go through another couple of models maybe, and see what happens after that. So let's put on some music and get on with it. Right, so this one is going to be really nice. It's going to be a battleship, and I think that the idea for this one is pretty interesting, is that it's only going to have one gun, and then everything else is going to be sort of support weapons. And then it's sort of a different thing, because normally battleships have guns here and the back and everything, you know, and then you kind of broadside, but for the Nomad it's very much a shoot forward kind of thing, which I thought would be an interesting change, kind of mix it up a little bit for the battleship. So let's get ahead to it. I'm just familiarizing myself with the model for now, just trying to look at the various bits of it before I make any changes. Now this one's probably one of the more important views, since kind of showing the overall composition of the ship, and that's kind of what makes the difference, since Supcom is a top-down game. So that's what we're going to be concentrating on today, just really making it the right shape. So from the side it looks pretty fantastic actually. I kind of like the engines, these glowing bits. It's really good. The bridge could do some work. So let's start with that. Just what I'm thinking about the bridge, so you don't want to have an overhang around every edge of it, since it kind of makes it look like it's stuck on, which it sort of is. It should be a bit more integrated into the main body. And then I have a weapon list somewhere, so I need to check if right, so what I'm looking for is in the model chat is a list of weapons which the ship should have somewhere. Oh, there we go. So it's 1 3-barreled cannon, 2 anti-airs, torpedo launchers, torpedo defense, tactical missile defense in the back. So we need to put a TMD in the back. And I don't actually have a design for it, so I'm gonna ask the modeler to do it. So we can just see what happens. And I do actually have a scribble that designs. Let's just open that somewhere over here. There we go. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna copy paste that and put it into the file so he kind of knows. What we might be talking about here. An arrow. Something like this. There we go. So let's see what's going on with the stream for now. I need to chat with people apparently sometimes. Right, so what am I happy about? I'll draw a happy face here. Happy face here. I mean, I think the bridge is what needs the most work right now. It's just... it's probably... I don't really know what to do for the bridge. This guy is pretty good at designing stuff himself, so we don't need to worry too much about it, but you know, just some kind of vague outline for him to work on would be good. So the Nomads have this kind of split bridge design thing going on there, so we're going to put some of that in there maybe. And this is kind of really vague. That's okay. It's supposed to be vague. What we'll do is we're going to get out a frigate model and let's see. And we're going to take the bridge from there. I never remember which model it is though that does that. Let's see this on this channel. So we're just opening something now. There you go, this is a bit of the Nomads command frigate. Let's just wait for the SketchUp to unfreeze. Yeah, I don't care about the updates. And what we are interested in actually is this bit. So we're just going to reassemble it. What we've done is we've kind of got half of a frigate left. Just going to move these shields to the front so you can see the back stuff, and we're going to add paint to these. I don't know why the paint's gone, but in any case it's gone. And this unit is already in the game, by the way. It's just there you go. Just grab that. I'll put it here. So he kind of knows maybe that this is something that we want. And then, something like that. Now the next thing I want to think about is this thing. Kind of, I don't really know, but it feels like it wants to be a kind of just to get the composition overall correct. And unit symmetrical, what I'm doing is I'm drawing these two bits slightly differently, and then I'm going to compare which one I like the best. So let's just scribble over it. I don't really know what I'm drawing, it's just random shapes, you know. Somewhere in there needs to be this command bridge thing. So Nomads, they've got this kind of thing where they've got half of the bridge is for people and half of it is for this huge computer, and then the computer drives the ship, so it's kind of puts an inhuman element into the design, sort of just making it a little bit. Oh, what happened to the chill piano covers? Well, I like all sorts of music, so tonight we're having whatever this music is, and then the piano covers will come back later. So just drink. Yeah, just drawing some stuff, and then we have the TMD over here somewhere. I don't know if this is hard base or not, but it's something. So, you know, top secret head of NASA and the two Amish boys. That's pretty lively stuff. I like lively music. And I also want to just really get these front panels right, because the thing is with them, he doesn't have a front view on the ship, but they're a very prominent sort of face, and they sort of define the character of the ship, so you really want to make sure that they're absolutely spot on, and right now they're not, and you can see that from the top. So if we just get rid of the lines here, this is a very thin, and then this is very thick, and then you get this kind of weird triangle going on here, which I think is a bad idea in this case. So what we want to do is we want to say, you know, uniform thickness kind of around the panel, and then what we else going to do is we're going to make sure our reference images are up here. So actually what we're going to do is we're going to move that smiley face over here, because I think it could be a little bit better. A little bit of a sharper kind of thing going on. Oh yeah, this is very nice. Just gonna dot that in. So just to make sure that he knows we're also happy, it's not just. What I don't like though is these, and the reason why is because you can see that there's a gap there, and they're kind of just covering everything up. I don't really know what's going on under them, and it makes for a poor use of model resources. So you have a limited number of textures, and you have a limited number of vertices, and when you have potentially complex stuff going on under there and then it's covered up by a panel, you can't see it, but it still takes up your texture space and it takes up your vertex count. That makes the game slower, and it makes all the other textures have a lower quality because you have to allow for the textures under there. So it's bad to have overlaps, and also it's kind of less believable since these panels are kind of floating in midair. You know, you could imagine like if you if you poke them, they would bend or something, or very flimsy looking. So maybe I just remove them, and we're going to underline the maybe because it's always very important when you're giving reviews. You know, you don't say you have to do this or whatever. Sometimes you do have to do this, sometimes it's important, but when it's a possibility, you want to be really clear about that. And I think it will be better here as well if you remove the panels, because they're kind of overhanging a little bit. Not by much, but slightly. I think it would be just to make the ship a little bit slimmer, since it kind of looks like a potato, doesn't it? And then we just want to clean up our scribbles here. And oh, whoops, wrong hotkey. It's one of the disadvantages of having all your hotkeys next to each other. So what I've done is I've kind of rebound every hotkey for Photoshop to something so they're next to each other, but I end up missing them a lot. Right. And what the inside of this should look like is kind of want a front view of this model as well. And we're just going to sort of do a really quick section sketch, and then sort of say that you want it like this. In fact, what we're going to do is we're going to color that in black, and then we can annotate it. So, kind of want an even thickness on your panels. So when something is a panel, you want to make it a panel, right? This thing is a kind of bizarre shape because it's got varying thicknesses and thing, but really what it should be is it should be a series of panels. So it should be a top panel, and then it should be a bottom panel, and then this thing in the middle is kind of an inner, sunken in a little bit, which is fine. But you want to make that very clear in your geometry so it doesn't read weirdly, so your eyes aren't confused when you see it, because right now you're not quite sure what you're seeing. You're seeing kind of a concave shape on the outside, and on the inside it's flat. It's a little bit bizarre, and then I think that's part of why it looks weird. So we're just gonna have even thickness. panel, and then we just want to add some lights, you know. Just so there's something there, so when you see it, we don't really know what's going on here because there's no front view, but we can see kind of that it's flat and there's nothing there, and we want to have something there. Alright, that gets a smiley face. That gets a smiley face. And too many stripes there. It's kind of like a tiger now, isn't it? It's properly stripy. I don't quite know what's going on here. It's kind of a bizarre geometry. We might leave that for next time, since this is a very complex unit. And this thing is great. So I'm gonna give him a smiley face here. Alright, this is a maybe as well. And this guy doesn't actually speak his English isn't his first language, so kind of want to take that into account as well, just to make things really clear. And this is probably a quick review this time around. There's not that much I can say without sort of having a good look at the model myself, so it's getting close to being finished now, or at least into the next stage, which would be the cleanup stage. What I don't quite like is that this end is sort of, I don't know, kind of deep, so. But what we have nearly forgotten is that we need some anti-air. We need to make sure that our specs for this ship are correct, so it actually does the job it's supposed to do in the game. So actually, this isn't a maybe anymore. Because we need to put some anti-air there. And then just put the anti-airs on there. So what I'm talking about is, let's see, by the way, quick preview in the bottom corner here. We're gonna look at this maybe at some point afterwards. So let's just close this guy, don't need him anymore. What we do need though is T4 transport, and the last version of it. So let's just get rid of those, don't need them. Grab a screenshot of you. And turn it upside down. There you go. put some of those. Put that over there. Just gonna draw a black arrow this time. Kind of don't get too confused as to what's going on. And then here. And then on the bottom, what's this? Because we need to put some torpedo launchers on them. And torpedo launchers. And let's not forget our why not make those little panels I like into missile launchers? Which little panels? You know, you can what you can do is you can actually review the same picture right here. Everything that Nomads has is public, so you can do whatever you want. There's all the models, everything is up there. Marlo's making actually good models. It's a bit of a task to keep up with all this activity, which is a good thing. More activity is better. We'd need, what I really need right now is a modeler who understands the Nomad style really well, which is a tricky thing. So this is a T3 battleship that we're making. Right. And just what I want to do is just get back to the list. You know, it's really important to get this right, because otherwise it kind of none of this makes sense, you know, sort of thing. Okay, I think we're done. So we're done with this for now. What we will expect to see is we'll expect to see a round 2. Then we'll get some more feedback later and everything. So post that, and what we'll also do is we need to find a screenshot of Cannon. Look at this, it's beautiful. So let's hide all that. Alright, let's mark this up. So beautiful. Right, because this is probably 100% what we want to see. This gets everything right. It's got the right specs, so it's a battleship cannon. It should be like this. It's really looking like the Nomad. It's got the right level of detail, just everything fantastic. This bit, that's what we're going to work on, because while this bit is unimprovable from my perspective pretty much, or at least it would be very difficult to find a flaw with it. You might consider these bits on the side to be a bit superfluous. Maybe that stuff could be textures rather than mesh, but you know, aside from that, however, this bit, that needs some work, so let's get on with that. And see if we can just maybe reduce the opacity of this guy so you can see the black more clearly on it. I probably should have done that in the previous markup, but you know, it's life. So I'm being pinged in chat again. Oh. Alright, let's just close the T-Bot transfer. Yeah, so if it's more interesting if it can fire forwards. I can say it, but I'd rather type it so that everyone else who's reading the chat without watching the stream also knows what's going on. So, and I can't talk and type at the same time apparently, so whatever. By the way, if you want to be added to the stream ping list, you can ask, and then you will get a special stream watcher role which gets pinged every time a stream is going to be up next time. So let's see. Right now I'm just making random shapes really. I'm just trying to get an idea of what the model is like before I make any changes to it. I'm not really thinking about anything right now. I'm just sort of drawing, tracing stuff. You know, it's not. Some of it's to do with modeling, some of it's just scribbles. Just sort of exploring the problem before I offer any solutions, because that way, hopefully, and we can do the base as well. Yeah, but that way, hopefully, I'll have a larger space of solutions, you know? Because that's the real challenge with design. What you're doing when you're designing is you're taking 1,000,000 solutions and you're compressing them down to one. So that means you have to destroy like all of them except for one, the one that you want. That's quite a challenge because you have to have a reason to do it. If you do it randomly, it's very unlikely you'll get the best solution. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to zoom out a lot, make the brush a little bit bigger, add new layer on low opacity, and then set up for sketching, and this is going to be a scribble kind of, just to get a feel of the composition of the let's get the precedence up, so I won't be talking in chat all the time. Let's see. Okay. And most of this is again just random scribbling. I'm just drawing stuff until I see something that looks good. Looks ridiculous. It's like someone put a tank on top of a ship. Kind of want to be a bit more integrated in that. This is just mostly random squiggles. Maybe you want to have a reverse. Kind of classical real life battleships have these kind of side periscope things to measure the distance. Maybe it's sort of a more simple. I don't know. It's just a bit of exploration right now. Maybe there's a sensor on the side of the cannon, so it's kind of a. Let's draw it from a different perspective, you know. Maybe there's a kind of a thing going on here. It's a bit of a. It's got a side thing, so the cannons are kind of on one part, and then this bit's sort of tacked onto the side, you know. If we just zoom in a bit. Now we can go round 2. So new layer, new opacity, smaller brush. Let's do this. So there's your guns, whatever. And still, even though we're more detailed now, this is mostly scribbling. You know, I'm just sort of looking at the random shapes that are left in the pens that I just scribbled on with brush strokes, and I'm just putting them in. You know, maybe something like this, I don't know. It's not a very good shape right now. It's not, doesn't sort of inspire, you know. I think that's kind of the standard that you should hold yourself to. It's not enough to sort of say, okay, that'll do. You have to actually look at every part of the drawing and you say, wow, this is really good. You should be, when you're looking at it, sort of struggling to find a place to stop. You should look at everything and say, wow, this is good, and that's good too. That's when you know you've really succeeded, when not only can you not find any flaws, but when everything is amazing. Very high standard. But that's the thing, most of the time we're constrained by time. So, as some famous people put it, you don't finish work, you give up. Maybe something like this. This is just a quick scribble. The thing is that Utter, who is the model maker of this model, he's good, right? So we don't really need to go too much into bit detail. You know, he can work it out. Maybe I want some kind of central thing like that, I don't know. That looks a little bit more convincing. Let's just grab some of that orange. And then just say, you know, maybe like this. Always underline the maybe, just in case he interprets that as a, oh, I really like this, you know, because it is really just I don't know if these lines help. Nah, we won't have them. You know, this is something completely different as always, you know, just sort of maybe you can have an antenna over here. You almost want it to be almost like its own construction, its own building. So it's like one thing I use as a trick is I put faces on stuff. So you know, if you got a house, right? You put a face on it, it looks like a person, it's just a square, right? But if you put a face on it, it looks like it has character. So, you know, so if you've got like a cabin of some kind, if you just put kind of visor on it, right? It already has some kind of character going on there. And all you've really done is you just basically cheated. Because you just put a square there, but it kind of looks like this is the eyes and then that's something else, right? So you abuse people's personification tendencies to make the model more relatable. And that's kind of what I'm doing sometimes as well. So you know, like these viewports and stuff, they're kind of like eyes. So it's also, you know, like cars, they look like they have faces. So same thing over here. I don't know if there's anyone who's pinging. So, you know, just knowing a little bit about human psychology actually helps you in things in ways you didn't expect. So yeah, and then I'm just drawing random stuff. One thing I wanted to do potentially was something like this, where you kind of have a, not very visible, is it? Kind of have a gun, and so this is, by the way, the same weapon that is going to go over here. So in fact, this is going to be the newer version of this thing, and they're going to share the same weapons. That's the artillery satellite, this is the battleship, and they're going to have the same cannons on there. So it's a relevant thing to look at. And this is a very early drawing of the satellite, just sort of a quick scribble. It's supposed to pack up and all that stuff. That's the thing when making this stuff, you can't just do it one model at a time, you have to do everything at once. Which is difficult, but that's the way you have to do it. You can't just ignore everything. You have to really do everything at once, and the way you manage to do everything at once is you break it down into bits, which you know will work when you work them out later. So if you know that, okay, it's got a gun at the front, it's got a gun at the back, and then you sort of got the thing in the middle. So, you know, if you work out this, and you work out this, they're separate from this. So while you're kind of doing everything at once here, in this kind of more strategic view, you don't actually need to hold the entirety of the design in your head. And that's how you do it with faction as well. It's kind of a fractal almost approach to it. Like, you know, you get your naval units, you know, you got your boats, you got your tanks, and then you got your airplanes, and you kind of know that these guys have characteristics and these guys have characteristics. And you say, well, these guys share the same weapon, and then these guys share the same weapon. And then you know that if you design that weapon, it's done. You can put it on 2 or 3 different units. And doing that is actually a cheap way of making the faction uniform, because if you have different weapons everywhere, then why are they different? You know, this one, so this is like a heavy artillery cannon, which is suitable for battleships and stuff. But if you make them the same, those 2 units are now both artillery units. I'm just gonna say that these are different designs. Different designs, just so he knows, because it might be confusing. Why is this here and not here? And then we just want to do the side of this cannon. So something like that. There we go. Just make that a little bit brighter orange, shall we? And just in case it's not abundantly clear, just in case it's not abundantly clear, do not change. Actually, you know what? If he changes it, it's fine, because we could always change it back, and there's always an opportunity for him to invent something new. So, yeah, whatever. You can change anything, even if it's really good. Okay, so that's probably done as well, actually, and the music's over. Let's just grab that. And post. What I don't like about Utter is his name doesn't actually contain any regular letters. It just makes it really difficult to ping him. Okay. And that's done. I'm not gonna save it. Nah, I'm not gonna save it. We do need to work out this, but I'm kind of hoping that Utter will work it out himself. Then we can review that instead of me doing the work. This is how you properly delegate. Now it's time for our masters models. So let's see. Let's find a good view. What we kind of want to do is just pick out a model. You can see a bit of everything. This one's pretty nice, but it doesn't. Yeah, the back end. We're probably going to do 2. pictures of it. So let's have a look. I'm debating between this one and this one right now. So someone's pinging me. When are you going to do my stuff? Well, it's in the queue. No, it's in the queue. I am kind of getting a bit tired, so I'll probably have to take a break after these two, because these two have been waiting for a while now, and then you're next. So I might take a break, because this is sort of 3 in the afternoon, and then we can do another stream in the evening maybe. Yeah, that'll do. Right. Save that. And let's put on some music. So, this is my first, probably ever, stream interaction. Which music would you like? Would you like more of what you heard just now, or would you like excellent piano music? Which is similar to what we had yesterday. And I'm going to wait about 1 minute for a reply from whichever one's most popular. Or by default we're playing the same thing. Okay, well we got 1 vote for piano out of 4 possible votes. Okay, let's just close those so they don't distract us with their majesty. And why are they different? I think this one's a lot better than. What I'm trying to work out is which one's which. Oh wait, is that? No, they just rotated. It's the same thing. I just thought they were different because it looks like this length is different from that length, but no, they're the same. I like this actually. It's kind of like a speedboat. Reminds me of a speedboat. Okay, piano. Since no one else bothered. Let's see. Oh, right. Let's just switch to bottom screen now. And we're gonna go from here, sort of the middle of the playlist. And we're gonna run out of that soon because it's not that much of it left. This is where we picked up from yesterday in terms of piano music. And then I'm just gonna grab this other image, which is the back. Right, let's get back to it. Just a little bit fade out, yeah. And let's have a look at these again. So we're probably going to use the same reference images for this one as for that one because they're both ships, they're both pretty similar. And I'm feeling a bit lazy because it takes a while to look through them. It's usually a fun exercise though. And we have been threatened. Check this out. Don't dare to get rid of that changed geometry underwater. So he's specifically talking to this. Well, We don't negotiate with terrorists. And we might do it anyway. We will see. I don't know if our master's watching this stream, but pressure's on. In fact, I'm gonna ask him. Yeah, too bad for him. It's gonna skip out all the stuff. So then, see what we got. Well, looks good. I don't like what's going on here. This is the same thing with the panel thickness. So if you're gonna have a panel, it should be the same thickness all the way around, rather than a thing that looks like a panel from the outside and isn't, because then it plays tricks on you. See, this thing is slightly, if we check the other image, it's not the same thickness everywhere. Kind of see them more clearly when it's underwater, but it's totally out, and then it's almost like an engine, but it looks a bit like a panel on the top, and that's confusing. Bad. This is where you get out the anti-cat spray, the water spray, and you spray your cat with it. That's what Unlast needs right now. So, and we also want to check the section. Ah, you got the section. Oh no, you got the section wrong. Let's copy the section. And I'm a bit more brutal with our master because we kind of work together a lot, so that makes it okay, right? Alright. Just fix this, you know? Oh yeah. Oops. Why do I do this all the time? Oh, it's changing the wrong color. Yeah, it's a trap. If you click on the background color, then you kind of have a problem. There we go. Make flat. Make flat. This is actually a fixed thing. You know, you need to sort this out. And he's not watching the stream, is he? Well, oh no, he might be watching the stream. I don't know, but we're doing it. And then, by the way, this one is an old version, so you can see that it's different and stuff. He gave it to us for comparison reasons. Make equal thickness, I guess. More thickness. I'm going to do a little bit of a sketch to show him what he means. So that's happy, and then this is sad. You know, you don't wanna do it like this. I'm also gonna put a cross with a tick in case it's not abundantly clear. You know, deal with it. And then this thing. So what we can see going on here is there's actually it changes its profile. Come on, we're not making profiled bridges here. You know, this is a panel. And now you can see it here. So, you know, I'm ignoring all this. And then in fact, we just want to make it a little bit deeper, and then something like this. This is still not ideal, by the way. I'm sure he can work out what to do with it. Maybe we want to just make it a little bit more vertical. And then this is kind of nice. I think maybe we can just add like a motor engine thing, because he kind of did it here already, but you know, this is pretty neat. This is happy. I'm just gonna draw a happy face here. So let's see. Just, well, this is kind of a not superfluous but arbitrary thing. It's just something. Doesn't really look good, does it? Just add. Maybe add box. Maybe add box. Underline them, maybe. Oh yeah, this one needs fixing, so well. So we don't really do that. We don't do that around these parts. There you go. Something like that. Can you just have the profile in there? The eye going like that, whatever. In fact, I'm just gonna make the whole thing a little bit lower down. There. This is gonna be ugly, but I'm sure he will figure it out. And if not, we'll figure it out later. It looks like a giant flashlight. Yeah. Yeah. I suppose so. Add another panel to the edge of these. Maybe. And then make this one taller. get rid of the front ones. Get rid of these ribbings. Don't need them. You know, if they're gonna be here, they're actually not so bad. Just making it not a flat thing. Oh, what's this? Hello, I didn't notice that. That might be a... See what's going on here. Oh dear. Oh no. Well, actually, I don't really know what to do with that. What a mess. I need to think about that. So what's going on here is yeah, I need to sort that out. It's gonna be like this. Yeah. Control space is also zoom. Well, that's an interesting thing to know. See other drawing, and I'm going to draw that later. And we're just going to colour in these lights so it's obvious what they do. Alright, and this is turning out fairly well. This thing needs a bit of a facelift. Oh no, complaints about the T1 tank destroyer. So many loose vertices. I don't actually know what you're talking about. Well, I don't know which model you grabbed, so... Can't tell people to keep playing. Because the thing is that yeah, it shouldn't have loose vertices, or at least it shouldn't have vertices which aren't loose that you can't then merge together. Because if it's the last version, which is export ready, then it has split edges everywhere, and then what you have to do is just merge the vertices again, and then they shouldn't be loose. And the reason they're split edges is because Supcom doesn't render them as sharp if they're not split. So if you have a vertex like this and a vertex and an edge like this, so there's two faces, you actually need to split this edge so that the vertex normals are in two different directions, because Supcom doesn't really support that. So that's why they're all split. But if you find that they're still loose after all that, then that shouldn't be happening. I don't know. Sorry. Because I was responsible for that, maybe. I was the last person who touched it, since I am the only one who actually imports the models in right now. Everyone else just does sort of earlier work. It shouldn't be the case though. And Now I'm just sort of thinking about how to deal with this. Well, maybe it wouldn't be like this. Maybe it would be like this. Kind of. I actually don't mind this. It's kind of got a prominent front. Right. Let's see. Just make the whole thing flat, I suppose. One supposes. I don't like this. The other one is better. There we go. And then about these, so that is a crime, and the reason why is because this is these are essentially put there because our master didn't know what to put there. They just added details to make it look more detailed. So he does that sometimes. Gotta watch out for him. If you're not careful, he might sneak something in like that. You know, and it's just ribbing. It just doesn't, doesn't do anything. You can, when your model's really good, you can put in a really flat surface, no details on it, and it will look fantastic. Just go for it, Huge balls, that kind of thing. Alright. Okay. Now, what is this 19th century music? This was Who's Afraid of the Big Bad Wolf? Now we got some new music. And let's get some water. And I'm just gonna say flat. Flat. It doesn't need a smiley face. Not today. And then move. Text is a bit big. Move back. How big is a T3 tank to a T1 tank destroyer? Yes, that's your answer. If we check the game, what I'll do is I'll preemptively close my Blender in case I run out of graphics RAM again. That would be a good one, wouldn't it? if the stream explodes, you know what happened. Retard died trying. It's my special sandbox. It's Dev Nomads offline. Set. Come on. There we go. Let's roll. So, what you do is you look in game. And, well, actually, the way you do this is you open up Notepad. And then you check inside the units file. I wonder if I've got a unit open. So, every unit's got a blueprint in it. Such as this ACU, it's the Nomads ACU, and it has a thing called uniform size. So if you search for uniform size, and what I'll do is I'll swap the screens as well, the uniform size, right? It's got a uniform size, uniform scale even, and that value is what you use to scale your model. So when you have your Blender open, and you know, you get rid of that stuff, then you import something, you know, let's import the ACU then, since, where is it, there we go, and then that's the scale, so you scale it by the value you found in the blueprints, in this case 0.16, right? So now, this is to scale with the game. This is what the size it is in the game. And now, to convert it to the same size as all the Nomads units, you scale it by 0.5512, and then you put a slash because it's 1 over that. So it's about twice as big. And then that scale is the correct scale for all the Nomads units, except the ACU. But yeah, and then that way you ensure that they're all the same, and this way you can import any unit in the game, and you can check what size it is, and you know you've done it right when you put in a cube, and it's 1.95 meters, and it looks like this. So this is the size of one Supcom unit. So we're loaded in the game now, and you can use DBG grid to show the grid, right? So the cube is that size in Blender. See, that's one Supcom unit, and then everything has that size. So T1 PGen, so for T3 land, let's just grab some T3 land units. Right, so they're about 2 by 2 squares. And then the T1 tank destroyer, it's about that big. So you can see it's significantly smaller. But the point is that this unit, which is the amphibious tank, which is going to have treads underwater, right? It's going to be replaced, and they have the same weapon. So this barrel, it's going to go over here. So it's going to be a pretty small cannon for this tank. But what you can do is you can extend the barrel. The point isn't to put the same thing on there, right? It's to... Oh, is the stream quality low? I don't know. Don't know what to do about that, to be honest. Oh, you made 2 barrels. Okay, we will see how that looks like. It's supposed to have 1 barrel, but 2 is okay. 2 does have a penalty though. So if it's really good, we'll keep it, but if it's not really good, it might not. and the reason why is because the T3 heavy tank has 2 barrels, so if they both have 2 barrels it might be not as good, maybe, so we'll see what happens. But, you know, just a bit of curveball there. Alright, let's get back to it. Destroyer. No. I'll get back to you on why. It's actually a pretty nice model. I'll think about it. What we need to do is we need to desperately finish this. So that all goes in the folder. And then we need to grab the Oh, I don't have an underwater picture. Link. Let's get on with that. So, right. And the reason why I was so brave as to go back on our master threat that I shouldn't make the thing is that I think it should be like this instead. You know? So it's kind of in line with the kind of in line with the rest of it, you know, however that works. And then you can still have his things because they're pretty nice. However, this does cause problems. The bottom is just something else. It's going to be a huge problem. So, I'm going to need to think about that one actually. And I'll put on some more music. We're just going to start from the start of yesterday playing this. Again, you know, just because listening to the same thing too often is bad, but listening to it a couple of times isn't so bad. So, but we will try and mix it up. Yeah, this is a piano cover of America, fuck yeah. Right. I think I'm done thinking. What a dangerous thing to say. So... kind of have a massive I don't really. You know, having good music is really important for working, you know? So you sort of say like, yeah, you know, just really getting your jams up. So sketching the bottom because I like the idea. I do like the idea, you know, that kind of have this thing. I don't like the back end. It's just the thing is our master's gonna figure this out anyway. That's the good thing about having competent people, so you don't have to tell them everything, you kind of just give them a vague notion and they work it out themselves. A lot less work for you. And then kind of this is the trouble area, isn't it? I kind of like what he did there with this thing, you know. Just make him square, I guess. It's good that he put on the back view as well underwater. I think it's kind of an interesting thing between me and Armast is that he really likes bevels and I really like squares. So we kind of I go too much on the side of the squares and he goes too much bevels. So when we put things together it kind of works out pretty good. So, because I'm really making this very square, aren't I? I'm just trying to make sure that the panel thickness rule is being preserved. It's what you do when you don't actually know enough about drawing to design to do good things. You just follow simple rules that you kind of work out yourself over time or whatever. This looks really terrible. Make that a bit better. Still looks terrible. Let's just give up. Sometimes that's the way to do things, and then you can have your engines kind of engine thing. Maybe just drop these down a little bit so they're a bit more in the water. And a big something like that across the top, because that's the most important. Get the question mark right, because the question mark is the most important thing. My life is a huge question mark. I wonder how he will sort this out, because it's a bit of a task. In fact, gonna underline that because this is probably the most important thing. Yeah, it is a lot of detail for something that won't be noticed underwater, but you see, the thing is that there are cases where it is underwater. You can actually see through the water because the water is semi-transparent, and it's good that the design is there so you can use it for other ships later. You know, in general, not cheating is a good idea. Usually involves a bit more hard work. Making 2 engines. That needs a maybe. Kinda don't really know. We'll just fill that in behind it. Time to post. Let's see what we got now. Gotta save the eastern front, huh? Okay, time for some master ship posting. Should we do it? Just want to make it full screen for him. Oh no, it doesn't fit. Well, too bad. I have the epic trick I can do, which is slide this thing across 2 screens, because I have 2 screens. Oh no, it's got the taskbar in the middle. I give up. How do I even make this a reasonable size again? Hideous. This is what regret looks like. I'll just zoom out a little bit. There we go. Put all my stuff back. Okay, next in the queue. I'm not gonna save that. No. Let's see. I think there was some stuff from Marlowe. I'm scrolling past the destroyer for now because I think there was a actual thing, you know, the with this. I don't remember. Oh yeah, I know. It's the Nomads World Borders. I like the overall idea of the speedboat. It's kind of a complete mess when you did it. So composition wise, 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 is a perfect score. We don't give those. And other than that, but execution wise, it kind of creates messy geometry, so we don't want to deal with that. I also didn't really review the bridge, but the bridge is fine. I think it just needs a TMD on the back. It's going to be a bit of a pain to model. But I've delegated that to Utter, so we should get something from that later. And also there were people who will wanted to get the stream watcher role, I think. I'm just assigning it randomly, so you know, if you get a stream watcher role by accident, too bad. Or rather, you can ask me to turn it off. So if you wanna get pinged the next time the stream's up, you need to ask for it. If anyone's yeah, the destroyer doesn't actually, well, like this thing doesn't actually look so bad, but I need to look at it for a while and then I'll go away for about a day, or maybe a week in this case, and then think about it, think about what to do with it. Because, well, what I don't like is these barrels, like, they're just, you know, greebled. You know, I already talked about this. That's bad. But this isn't so bad. Maybe it shouldn't have two levels of engines on the side. Maybe that can be like just a block, right? Just compositionally, it's fine. It's just, you know, it's a bit weird. That's fine. Maybe it's not actually that bad a model. These bits are fine, but these bits should probably be a solid panel instead. I don't know what's going on there. Yeah, the turrets need replacing in general, I think. But overall, it's not a bad model. This bit's nice. I kind of like this bit. The turrets, I'll actually get back to you about the turrets, because I had this awesome idea about turrets. So if I get out my top secret documents, let's see. You can have a look at the TMD in the meantime. Let's see what my top secret documents are. Right. I'm looking at top secret documents. No one else's. So the T2 destroyer is the same weapon as on the T1 tank. There we go. Yeah, so if you look at the T1 tank, it's got these kind of barrels. You know, we've worked on it yesterday's stream. And then you can grab those and use that, and then that's going to be a T2 destroyer. I'll give you a special picture so you can kind of see what the idea is with it. There we go. It's T2 destroyer turret. It's kind of 4-barreled, and the idea was that it's kind of very interesting in that it's got a pivot in the middle, and then the top kind of wraps around the top. It's almost like a, you know, it's proper beefy. And it's got 2 of those turrets. One of those, please. It's pretty big. Well, actually, kind of. Yeah, you kind of got them. So Nomads have this thing about their turrets where they are plausibly anti-air turrets. So it's less about naval-like ships, but it's naval-like ships with everything that looks like an anti-air turret. Because in space, you kind of want to shoot upwards as well. Well, yeah, not like that. You know, with the trumpet barrel, that's crazy, isn't it? But a little bit like that. In the sense that it can tilt up. It's not really pretty different. Well, yeah, it's got some similarities. Anyway, back to work. What I want to review now is the world borders. So I like how the world borders are under the unit finished. So we'll get out our SketchUp. That's right, I model in SketchUp. It's because I can't use Blender. I use Blender to do the UV unwraps, and I use it to do all the technical stuff, putting the bones on, vertices and stuff, but I use SketchUp for work, and that's what I do. Now let's hope this doesn't crash, so as it always does. So what we're doing is we're just waiting for it to import. It looks like it's frozen, which it has, but it's still doing the work in the background, so hopefully, anyway. Meanwhile, let's look at stuff. Actually, what I also wanted to see done is maybe a bit of this. I don't know if anyone wants to have a go. Have a go at the T2 amphibious tank. Kind of the idea is that it's kind of it's almost like an APC or something, and then it's just got this little turret thing, and it's really simple when it's underwater, and it's got a pop-up antenna, it's got a pop-up camera, pop-up missiles, and then it just does the kind of thing. So that could be a thing. And then there's loads of other stuff. Someone, I don't know if they're watching this stream, needs to finish this. T2 fighter bomber, that's what it's gonna look like. Possibly. Are we done? Nope. It's just some random stuff. This is Nomad's art, this isn't mine. Someone else did this. From the ancient days. Some ships. This is a T2 destroyer kind of thing, you know. I don't really know if they're going to be like this actually. Just a possibility, and then that one might be a bit like a cruiser. What's interesting about these is that I did them with Blender. So Blender's got the 2D brush thing, and you can actually draw in 3D space with the brush. So I used that to sort of scribble out kind of top-down view, and then I projected it and then just cleaned up the lines a little bit. But it's really cool that you can just draw lines and then you can just move them around in 3D space after that. That was very fun. So let's see. Oh yeah, Nomad's loading screen. If anyone can do video editing, that's your thing. Various nonsense. It's not done yet. Actually, yeah, it's probably. It should start working eventually. There we go. Let's just scroll all the way up though. There's a T1 submarine potentially. Yes. So. There's your UEF thing. Except it's the thin version, isn't it? Yeah. We don't need that. And then what we do need to do is we need to clean up. Don't go on materials. Boom. Let's get to it. Oh no! Go away. Let's try it again. Yeah, why is it doing that? I've never experienced this before. Yeah, well, it's just not really working well, is it? Oh well. We only need to care about 1/4 of this, because it's going to be 2-way and possibly 4-way symmetry. So before we even take a look at this, we need to divide it to 4 bits, like so. It's a bit of a mess. Why isn't this a face? Oh, it is a face. It's connecting this something over here, probably. Bizarre. Ah. In fact, we're gonna need to this. Hideous. We'll be cleaning all that up. This is gonna be very tedious actually. Because my plugin's not working. What we're gonna do is we're gonna save that. Huge mess. So, yeah, okay. I wonder if that will help him. No. What we're gonna do is we're gonna restart SketchUp. It's always a shame when things don't work. I don't know why it wasn't working. Well, that is much better. It's still a bit messy. Clean up this quite nicely actually. Well, this is clean up. It's just this one. What happened here? Look at this. Terrible. It looks like these aren't flat. Ah. That's a bit of a crime, isn't it? Okay, that's a good start. So that's flat. One thing that SketchUp doesn't let you do is it doesn't make you have non-planar n-gons. So you see, it's not flat, then it won't be flat. So you gotta. And yeah, these are not flat. Hello. Messy model making. So cleaning these up can be a bit of a pain. For instance, I just... what's this? Hidden geometry. Wait, non-vertical lines as well? Oh no! Goodness me. That's a bit of a... not the cleanest model ever, is it? Let's see how this one goes. Well, that's kind of a good start, I suppose. Look at this. This one's way out. Look at that. You can see that it's not flat. What is going on here? Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to recreate this. It's probably easier. Look at this. That's quite something, isn't it? Oh wow, I didn't expect this. Looked a lot cleaner in the blender. I mean, this is pretty good, you know. Yeah, whatever, but kind of a 2-minute job or whatever it was. Let's see. See what hideous creation we have created. Oh no! It looks like a face which we thought was flat was not flat when we were tracing it. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. So what's going on now? Oh, maybe that's not. Yeah, that's not the flat one. So let's make these parallel. This is kind of why I like using SketchUp, because it doesn't let you make these mistakes. You know, in Blender you could just make your n-gon non-planar. Nobody will notice. But here, it's gotta be exactly flat. And it sounds like a pain in the ass, but I think it should be like this. Oh, I can do that. What's going on here? I'll probably end up remodeling this whole thing, because I kind of don't trust that it's gonna have clean geometry, which is fine. Most of the work is already done, I feel. I just need to make it. That's the easy part. So go. Now we can just extend that all the way back to the edge. What's happening here? That's fine. Just give it an equal thickness. The way you actually kind of do that. In fact, let's just do it properly. Now we can do that later. SketchUp is atrocious. Maybe. It's got two things that Blender doesn't have, which is one, an inference system, and two, better parenting, I suppose you could call it. So what I mean by the inference system is that if you put this over here, you can then move it with reference to another edge. Like, doing that in Blender is a pain in the ass, right? 'Cause, you know, how do you do it if it's between this corner and that corner? In SketchUp you just do it. In Blender you'd need to like create an empty, set that as the active object, then snap. Like, I mean, yeah. Right. Once Blender has that, then it's got no disadvantages over SketchUp. But until Blender has that, and a lock to, like an option to lock n-gons to planarness, then I'll, you know, swip to it. But until then, SketchUp is the way. And it needs better component managing, or like object management. I know 2.8 is a massive advantage, but still not good enough. Now let's do this properly. And this is just me essentially recreating this from scratch. Go. Now that thing is precisely dimensioned. I always like precise numbers because you can just recreate everything rather than kind of relying on the whims of randomness. There we go. Now what I don't remember is what's happening with this guy. Hmm. This is getting a bit tiring. I'm just thinking you might want to take a break, because that thing is a bit of a pain to sort out. Just want to get rid of this mess first, and then everything else should be so much easier afterwards. So I think I'm just gonna, you know, kind of buckle up. Whoops. And then just clean it up a little bit. You gotta be really careful to stay planar. This, because I don't know what's planar over here anymore. Half of it could be completely out. You wouldn't know anything. Okay, so that's our top done. Kind of. We can figure that one out later, I guess. Guess we could do it now. Try snapping like that in Blender. I mean, you can do it, but you know, snapping to a face is a pretty kind of annoying experience because you don't actually do anything precisely. You can't just extend the thing up to a face. I mean, it's not that you have to. I'll check this code, let's see what is in there. Oh, hello, look at this. Yes, you've done it. Make sure make sure that the barrels, let's see, take this and put the same barrel from there onto your thing, and it should be the same scale as well, so if it's the wrong scale then scale it up, right? Put that there and then all will be well. I need to make a picture of a well, like the one with water, and then have a caption saying all is well on there. And it can't just be any well, it has to be like an evil looking well that's taking over the world. Then I can just throw that around everywhere, saying all will be well. It's going to be a tremendously fantastic experience. There we go. Alright. Ew. Let's just... I only need to get about half of this panel. So let's see. Oh no, look at this little bit of an ugly corner over here. Oh well. Now what? Need to also do this. There we go. And where's your midpoint over here, I guess? Right. And hopefully we should rotate this. No, we need to flip it. There we go. Does it fit? I don't know, because I made the excellent mistake of tracing around one thing and then, well, because you know it doesn't actually, because these things aren't vertical in the original model, so just because I traced around one thing doesn't mean they line up on the other one. Could be anything. But it looks like it is actually fine. Yeah, what's going on here? Apparently spin off. Okay. Well, that one is the suspicious thing. Well, it should be perfectly aligned. I don't know. And that's the thing about SketchUp, it is a precision tool first and foremost. So it's either, you know, yeah, I made a bit of a mistake. I don't actually want to put this here, but that's okay. And just to the end of that, I suppose. I don't know why it's kind of slotting in halfway through. Whatever. Actually, we're modeling this precisely, aren't we? So let's do that. Well, let's not do that just yet. There you go. Now it's the same thickness everywhere. You know, you can't just... No, it's not. I lied. Why isn't it the same thickness everywhere? Oh well. That's the same thickness. Oh, this is a bit of a pain. There you go. Now it's the same thickness everywhere. You know, when you extrude things, you can't just sort of, you know, whatever. I don't know if that's me, actually. Is the stream lagging for everyone else? Because for me it says 0 drop frames. I'm sort of streaming at 2.6 megabytes a second, kilobytes, I don't know, megabits even, I don't know. So I'm just gonna type it. Do that, please. Some of that, please. And let's just make that into an actual thing. So he had it down, we're gonna make it up. You know, because we can. Although, not that much up. A little bit. Or are we? Why is this thing down? Huh. Just gonna have it up a bit. Yep, there we go. Go away. And you can go away. Oh no, not the square. Alright, we need to keep the square. Square. Square is very important. It's exactly, or it should be, exactly the right size for the map to fit in it. Although you have to redo the square actually, because the issue with it. Also, wait a minute. Are those? Let's just check. There you go. Face angle, no. What's my face angles? Wait, are those inverted faces? Like they're all facing the wrong way? Oh no. Yeah, that's why it was weird. There's loads of reasons why it was weird, but yeah, wow. Bit of a messy model, isn't it? Half of these have their faces facing the wrong way. That. Let's put that there. Okay. Make this the correct depth. Make this the correct depth. It's the deepest part. I don't know why there's different. Oh yeah, they're not. It's a bit of a mess, isn't it? Let's see. I think I've already said that phrase a couple of times. It's very messy. There's your correct thickness everywhere. I keep reading Marlo's message to check Discord, and it's still the same thing because no one's put anything else after it. And we need to fix you as well, because things have changed. Why isn't this? No. Oh yeah, it's slightly off. Of course it is. I think I'm gonna make it off a lot though. It's almost easier to start from scratch with this model. Going down. Oh, let's color it in, shall we? Boom. Something like that, so it's a bit more. Now we'll let it clip now. It's getting a bit of a track, isn't it? Well, in any case, this is now in my hands, so I'll need to model that. I'm probably going to make these a bit wider, make that thing a bit thinner. That needs to be redone. And we're just figuring out, you know? All is well. Just make things 45-degree angles more. That's my favorite angle. If you're going to pick a random angle, you might as well make it that for Nomads. And I think that might be enough for now. Let's just wait till the end of this musical track, and then we're gonna stop till the evening. I'm being pinged. Is that to scale? I mean, they do look a bit small. How big is it? What you should do is you should check what the size of a regular destroyer is, and because these are pretty small. I expected them to be a bit bigger, and then get rid of the back one. Marlowe is kind of really slaying it with these models recently. He's got the you know, the little artillery boat thing. He's made the turret for this thing. Looks pretty good. It's you know, really getting along with it. Yeah. Then you can make those things torpedo launchers or something. I mean, good job, man. Make those different heights, make that lower and make that one higher. Or maybe just that one lower. Okay, music's over. And stream is over as well. Have fun.